Hello everyone, this is Sean here from Conspiracy Rant Radio Show. Today is going to be slightly interesting because we don't really know what we're going to talk about.
As
But
usual.
yes, as usual, and we're just going to literally go with the flow. But if you've listened to us before, we normally talk about interesting stuff, stuff that is rather intriguing to hear, and I'm sure you like that. And stuff that we're going to be talking about today is interesting, although we don't really know what we're going to talk about. But it will be interesting if that all makes sense. But anyway, my name is Sean. I am one of the co-hosts of this radio show. But with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Brian Russell twice. Mr. Brian, can you maybe just briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, Brian Whistle twice here, and yeah, it's been a while. It's going to be interesting because we have, I don't know, it's been just over a year or so that we've been doing these conspiracy rant shows, but things are happening so rapidly in the world. It's sometimes difficult to really keep up. So it's going to be lots of things for us to talk about today.
That's right.
So,
And as you know, Apple is such an amazing brand. They've been voted. Let's talk about business just very briefly. I mean,
sure.
I think they've been voted one of the most powerful brand in the world, and people are just so crazy about Apple and MacBook and iPod and iPad and whatnot. And the minute when they start to launch a product, people would just go mental. In fact, people would just queue up, at the Apple store for like months on end. Well, not really, I'm just being dramatic here, but they just queue up and they camp out. I think that's just madness. I mean, there's no doubt that the product is absolutely amazing, high quality and everything, great design. I truly adore some of the products. In fact, I do own several of them. But I think it's just mad, iPhone 5 or iPhone 4S, whatever they want to call it, is going to be launched very, very soon. We're just waiting for the keynote speech from Apple. And then when that happens, then iPhone 5 or iPhone 4S, whatever you want to call them, will then be launched. And people are saying, I was reading an article today about it, and they're saying that it will be launched sometime, possibly sort of like November time or maybe September. In October. And naturally, if that is released over in the US in October, it will be released here in the UK maybe a month after that. So we're going to get it here in the UK in November, which is good, I think, because I think I'm due for an upgrade. So I might get an iPhone. I don't know. I'm not really an iPhone fan, but I think I'll get that. But the point that I want to try to make here is, I think
I kind of fell asleep during that ad.
Oh, did you? Anyway, so the point that I want to make here is, why is Apple so powerful? Is it because of the marketing, or is it because maybe the associations with the Illuminati or something?
Well, all big businesses involved in Illuminati, but
I thought Rothschilds are. Rothschild is the only sort of company that initially started Illuminati.
Yeah, it's a long history. So it's a long history, enough to get into, too much to get into now. But basically, all big business is financed by the same people.
Who?
So,
How do you mean who? Who people? Are we talking about business is all financed by the same people? People, they probably got it from no. Apple, they started off from scratch. It's all started in the early 80s, and they sort of grew from there and used their profits to fund other bits and bobs. It doesn't, and I mean, if you look at Facebook, it's all been financed by different new parties. A college mate, university mates, and that's how they grew. And they had venture capitalists as well, who invested in the organization. So who is these parties are you talking about?
well, uh, people like they either know or they don't know about the banking oligarchs, the people who really make the decisions as concerned politics and world events. And these same ones, you mentioned Apple. How come successful they were? They were struggling so much. They got.
It's called about reinvention and innovation, because in business reinvention is so key, and innovation is also key. So they just create amazing product, and they also are a good bunch. They do have a good bunch of people working for them who are so good with marketing, and have got huge budgets in terms of marketing. So they just like slap on loads of advertising everywhere, and I think that's the reason why they have the power to influence people.
Well, you have to understand. Like say here in the UK, you have the Monopolies and Mergers Commission, where basically, if a company gets too big, they would split that company up.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. Apple is not a merger of a company. It sits on its own. It's its own party.
Well, Apple does buy up smaller companies. That's how they get particularly their software, and they buy up smaller companies. So, I mean, to become the biggest business in the world doesn't just happen. Doesn't
Overnight.
just happen like that. You do have to do some business.
What are you talking about? Of course it doesn't happen overnight. It took them like 20, 30 years.
You have to get rid of your competitors. So you become. It's a massive.
That's business, though. That's the nature of business, where you just have to be very competitive, and you just need to stay and think well ahead of your competitor to compete.
Do you know what? But
it's like a race. It's like if you're running in the Olympics, you have to know who you're running with in order for you to win, and you have to really understand what the weaknesses, the weaknesses of your match to win. It's like football. If I'm playing for Manchester United, and I'm playing against maybe Liverpool, for example, I just have to know who's the players and what are the techniques or tactics that I can use in order for me to win. And that's just like, survival of the fittest, I think. You just have to be the best at everything that you do in order for you to win. What's that got to do with the funding and everything else? That's my concern. That's what I'm trying to really understand here, which I haven't really got from you.
Yeah. That's all piddle swallow to me. It's like, when you're always looking at the big picture, what you say makes sense.
I don't think I'm looking at the big picture. I'm talking about reality here. There's something that you...
it depends what we say, what reality is. But in the business sense, like you said, it's survival of the fittest, and if you've got the good marketing, you get the best people. But at the end of the day, what is it all about? Because if most of the people who used to afford your products can no longer afford your products, and
but that is not the case, is it? Because people can afford to buy Apple products. In fact, they're making millions every single day.
Yeah.
So I think your argument in terms of people not having any money buying Apple products is totally untrue.
Let's put it this way: you do say survival of the fittest. Here's another point: like where the products come from in China, the workers themselves who work in the factories making these items, they themselves on their wages couldn't afford to buy even, let's say, one iPod or one iPad. They couldn't afford to buy it on their own wages, and that's how has been the driving force between these major corporations who do so well. Now, I'm not saying that they don't.
But I don't see the connection here, based from your initial argument in terms of who's funding this organization to something that is, who's living in China, who just simply couldn't afford to buy Apple. But what is the connection? I think you're a bit lost there. Can you just let me know?
Forgive me for my getting lost. I was tweeting at the same time. So back on track. What basically, what I'm saying is that, yeah, the reality is, yes, survival of the fittest, but Apple, Apple, the massive corporations, they get where we're getting by using what others might term as slave labor. That means that they buy products or their raw materials at less than trade prices. They buy labor at less than the going rate, and that's why everything is made in China, where they can get it made for practically nothing, and based on that, they're able to make massive profits.
Not really, not really. I disagree, because in fact, all of the companies out there based in Europe or America, produce their products, manufacture their products over in China, because it's cheap. But that doesn't guarantee that that particular product is going to succeed, nor that will guarantee the company success. It doesn't really work that way. It's all about the quality of the product, how good of a marketing that you can implement for your product and services as a business. Then if you do that right in every step of the way, then you will succeed. But you still haven't answered the question. You said initially, these companies succeed because of the funding. And you said, and I asked you that question, who's the funder? So,
okay.
Have you been drinking?
No, I haven't been drinking. I was tweeting at the same time.
Right. I thought only girls multitask.
That's so. Yeah, that's why I got messed up, because obviously, multitasking. I was saying, because of the funding. Like, let's take Facebook. Facebook didn't just become this global phenomenon simply because it's such a brilliant program and such a wonderful, brilliant idea, because there were hundreds around at the same time. It became what it became because of funding. And once those big, massive banks get involved, if you can get CIA involved as well, then you're going places. There's no question about that.
I like it. When you get CIA involved, you're going places. How classic.
Yeah. You're talking world domination, full stop. That's it. World domination, done. Google being similar as well. They can sell you on, Apple as well. They'll sell you on, we got a superior product. Yeah, you've got some nice things going on. There's going, but also there are many companies producing the same. But it's been destroyed. And if you look at any marketing strategies, one of the things is how to destroy competition. It's not how to, compete in such and such technology world. Is how to destroy your competition. And if that means buying your competition out, you buy them out. So, in a sense, you could say all these things are great, survival of the fittest and everything. But once you've destroyed the opposition and you become a world dominating brand, the only thing that happens, and you talk, because we talk about maybe certain theories, and literally once people like the CIA, or let's say the defense, national security get involved, they say, hey, we can use your products, we can use this, we can to basically monitor people,
right?
And just in case, like, say, terrorists buy Apple products or so on and so forth, they can trace them. Because nowadays everything is internet. You cannot switch on a computer or laptop without having to connect to the internet somehow. Someone somewhere is able to monitor what you're doing when you're doing it, and that's been the big thing. And
maybe that's the whole point of the success of the internet, because the government wants to watch.
Oh yeah, that's right, and that's what makes it such a precious thing.
But it's also interesting to see as well, because I posted this on my Facebook the other day, because I was reading an article in one of the news channel recently, a couple of days ago, And basically, what it said was that, as you know, it's the norm now. Everybody knows about it. That the government is watching us through Twitter, blog posts, and the websites and Facebook, especially, and numerous other